My family has been cleaning out my great-grandmother's house, and I went out to visit recently and came home with lots of treasures. My great-grandmother, as well as her mother, lived in the same house for decades. They both did a lot of sewing and crocheting, and they both also lived through the Great Depression and World War II rationing, so they never threw anything away. Anything. As you might imagine, they left quite the stash, and I was very fortunate to be invited to take anything that I wanted from it. I have always loved old things. I love antiques. I love history and learning about history, and I was just very excited to get some items that are part of my personal history. Everything I'm going to show you in today's video was either used or made by women in my family, and I'm just very excited to be able to continue using or perhaps give new life to some things that otherwise probably just would have been thrown away. Nobody else in the family wanted them, and I'm not sure that they even knew what some of them were. If you clicked on this video, that means you are nosy like I am, and you just like looking at other people's stuff. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so first up we have thread. So much thread. My great-great-grandmother was really into doilies and lace edgings, and she had a huge collection left over of all kinds of crochet thread, everything from size 10 to 30 is the smallest that I found. This is only a little bit of what she had. There was so much more, but I only grabbed colors that I thought I would actually have a use for. Some of them are, you can tell they're old. I don't know if it's water damage or just dust or something. Some of them are a little bit discolored, but I'm hoping that once I've made something with them, maybe a good wash will help with that. But then others are in really, really good shape. This green one, for instance, this was never used. This is the original label. So some of them are in really good shape. Others definitely need a wash. And some of them even came with little surprises inside. She had been making some flowers. I don't know if this was just for fun, if she was testing things out, or if there was a project in mind for these, but I found these little flowers stuffed inside of some of the balls. So that was a nice little surprise when I brought those home and discovered that. I really like this one. There isn't a whole lot left. It was clearly used for another project. I don't know if the camera is really doing it justice, but it's a really shiny, kind of silky thread, and it's a really pretty, very pale blue color. I am a little concerned though because there are more than 2 ends sticking out, so I think if I start to unravel this, I'm going to find some pieces. How big those pieces are remains to be seen, but even though there's clearly been some damage or some use on this one, the color was just too pretty to pass up on that. And all kinds of knitting and crochet tools. I got my grandma's knitting needles. I don't actually know how to knit. I have never knit before, but it is something that I want to learn how to do. I've been putting it off because there's just been so much stuff with crochet that I've wanted to try and challenge myself, and it just never felt like the right time. But now that I have this large selection of knitting needles to choose from, I will probably start thinking about doing that soon and learning how to knit. And then we've got some Tunisian crochet hooks, another thing that I have never done before, but I would like to learn, and now I have the tools for. And then we have a small collection of steel crochet hooks here. Even though I have my own steel crochet hooks in a lot of these sizes already, in one of my earlier videos, the table runner video, where I was trying thread for the first time, some helpful folks in the comments were saying that sometimes older hooks are better for thread. They make it easier to work with. So I grabbed these because I was excited to try them and see if that was the case, and see if some of my frustrations with thread crochet are solved by using perhaps some older hooks. And we have lots of sewing notions. Some trim here, this bias trim. I thought this would be really cute for some kind of Christmas project. This rickrack I grabbed because I do actually have a dress that I'm working on that I thought would look really cute with this. This was a teeny tiny fraction of the trims they had. Like, there was a ridiculous amount of rickrack in that house. I don't know who would ever need or use that much rickrack. I certainly don't. I only grabbed this one because it's something that I had a project in mind for, but there was boxes upon boxes of rickrack in every color imaginable. Lots of sewing thread on, some of them are wooden spools, some of them are obviously newer, maybe probably like 80s, 90s-ish. And we also got this one, which is still in its original packaging, so we'll see when we open that up, see if that is still good. Got some awls, a lot of English needles. I was really excited to find these. I will definitely be using these needles, but I think I would also like to keep the packages and maybe, I don't know, do something with them, maybe a shadow box or put them in a frame or something, because I do think the packages are really cool. Like, they don't make needle packages like this anymore. Look how pretty that is. And obviously they've still been used, but there are still some untouched needles in there. All of these, yeah, I definitely want to do something with these packages. I don't want to throw them away because I like them a lot. I know one of these is a tatting shuttle. I think it's this one, and then this maybe is a lace shuttle. Somebody who knows more about tatting or lace might have to tell me in the comments, but I grabbed these. Those are also things that eventually would like to learn someday. And then there were also some random hairpins in amongst all the sewing stuff that had clearly never ever been opened before, but I use hairpins all the time, so I snagged them. Tons of fasteners, many in their original packaging. They have clearly never been used, and lots and lots of zippers. This one was copyrighted from 1947. I don't know if that's actually how old this zipper is, but it certainly looks like it could be. So some of these brand new original packaging, never been opened, and then on the other hand you can see there were some that were clearly cut off of other things. So again, this was women that reused everything and never got rid of it. But I snagged these because there were just a lot of metal zippers, and those are one of those things that I always wish I had a stash of, but I just can't justify just going out and buying zippers, so now I don't have to worry about it. Tons and tons of buttons. A lot of them, as you can see, still in their original packaging, but then there were also a lot of these that we found that had clearly been taken off of perhaps other pieces of clothing. Some of them are a little worn, but they are still colors and styles that I thought would be useful to have. Some of them definitely need to be cleaned, a little bit dirty there. It looks like we've got a range of time periods with these. This is copyright 1930 on that one, and you get the lady, there's definitely some very late 20s, early 30s fashions there. Some of these are literally just, the packaging is just rotting away because it's so old, so this was a cool little time capsule find. I might, some of the better shaped ones, especially this one, I just really like the design of this package. I might also put in the shadow box or the frame with the needles. But yes, just lots and lots of random buttons. Something you definitely don't see anymore. Stuff that is clearly labeled for fathers and sons, because apparently women can't wear gray. Well, and we have all kinds of lace trimming. I don't think I will ever need to buy lace again. A lot of these were clearly things that they had bought and just were keeping in a stash. Like, we have a lot of things still on their card, just a whole big old roll of something. But then others had clearly been cut off of other things. Like, there's two of these. Looks like they hemmed it. I don't know what that might have been attached to. This one still has some fabric where you can see they took pinking shears to it and cut it off of something. So again, just recycling and reusing, lots of signs of that. I also found a stack of these really pretty black lace appliques. There's most of them are these larger ones here, but it looks like there's like 2 or 3 of the little tiny accents. I don't know what I will do with these because they're really fragile. You can see the fabric is tearing or possibly rotting away in some places, so this would definitely not be something for wearing, anything that I might need to wash, so these might end up being more of a decorative thing at some point. I'm still thinking about what I want to do with these, but there are a lot of them and they were just too pretty to leave behind. And we have a big ol' stack of crochet lace. Some of these are in rough shape right now. They definitely need a bath and some blocking. and some of them are in surprisingly good shape. Like this one is still pretty clean and soft. Others, I don't know if it's maybe water stains or something, but we'll give them a bath and we'll block them, but I'll show you guys what I've got right now. According to my mom and my grandma, my great-great-grandmother used to decorate pillowcases, and a lot of these pieces that we found track with that. A lot of these seem about the right size to put on the edge of a pillowcase. Apparently that was her thing. That's, I'm guessing, what a lot of these were made for. We have very clear evidence of that here. This one was clearly used for something and then cut off of it. I'm guessing once the pillowcase itself got kind of ratty, I think she just saved the edging to maybe attach to something else. This is one of those that definitely needs some cleaning up and a bath. It's kind of in rough shape. These I thought were really cool. You know how earlier I said who the heck needs this much rickrack? Well, my grandma definitely found a use for it. She was crocheting with rickrack. I don't know if she had to pre-poke those holes or if her hooks were sharp enough to just go in there, but I thought that was really cool. Maybe I'll try this someday. I don't know. This is another one that really needs a bath. And stashed away in this unassuming brown paper bag, we have some UFOs. So I don't know what she was planning to make with it. It's still attached to its ball, but it's a little filet crochet teapot. I thought that was so cute. I definitely want to do something with this. I collect teapots, so this is right up my alley. Crochet and teapots, can't get any better than that. I don't know if I just want to maybe leave it as it is and just focus on the single teapot, or if maybe I should keep going, make it a little bit longer and turn it into some kind of table runner. I'm not sure, but definitely doing something with this because this is absolutely my style. Then also in here, we have another one. Again, very handy that the ball she was using is there. Is a butterfly doily. She didn't finish the wing here, and it came with the pattern as well. So this was supposed to be a chair set. So you make 3 of these. You make one big one for the back of the chair and then 2 half butterflies for the arms. It's like they were working on the back of the chair and didn't quite finish. So I need to finish. There's some antennas here that kind of attach this part to the wings and then the latter half of the wing. I don't know what I'll do with it. It's very large. I don't have any armchairs to drape this over. Maybe a crazy quilt. Maybe I'll attach it and just make it its own wall hanging. I don't know, but I think that'll be a fun challenge and try and finish this. And this one definitely makes me feel better about my stitches with tiny thread. They're very, very loose. So that was a little confidence boost to see that their stitches weren't always tiny and perfect either, and that's okay. And the part that I'm sure most of you were very excited about, patterns. There's tons and tons of doily patterns. This is book 1 of several. This one is from 1947. It's got a little bit of damage. You can see we got some holes there for some water damage, but there are some lovely designs in here, and I'm excited to try some of these out. When I first saw this book at her house, I thought at first that maybe somebody had cut pages out of it, but upon further inspection, I realized they had actually done some repair work. Apparently, the pages and the staples were starting to fall apart, so they just tacked it together with some sewing pins. So, +1 for ingenuity, Grandma. So many doily patterns. I especially really like this one. I thought that was really pretty. I'm probably going to make that one at some point. Yes, if anybody is interested in some doily pattern flip-throughs, let me know. I'd be happy to make a video like that because there's a lot. This one is missing its cover, but a look inside, it looks like it is mostly lace edgings. I think it's all crochet. There might be some knit and tatting stuff in here as well. So this one I was excited about, and I will show you why in a minute, but I just thought it was really cute that it still came in the original envelope that it was mailed in. It's really cute. I was excited because this would be the perfect scrap busting project. It's a crocheted afghan, and you got these tiny little motifs here that you connect around the edges, and I thought this would be an absolutely perfect project for all of those little balls of yarn that they're not big enough to really do much with, but they're also too big to throw away, and so they just kind of sit in my closet forever until something like this comes along. I think I will definitely be making at least one of these afghans at some point because that would make a great scrap busting project. And last but not least, we have a big stack of the work basket. I had seen these on free pattern sites like the Antique Pattern Library, and so I was really excited to find a giant stack of them in my grandma's house. I only grabbed ones that had patterns I thought I would use. I'm pretty sure she had every issue from, the oldest one was 1947 all the way up to 1989 and everything in between. So there was a lot. I just snagged the ones that had crochet patterns and in some cases some knitting patterns for when I eventually learned to knit. But yes, lots and lots of project ideas for future videos here. That's it. I'm really excited to start using some of these things. I have so much content for this channel now. If you want to see that content, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and giving this video a like also really helps the channel out. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!